Hi, my name is Eric Chapman. I teach trombone and beginning euphonium at REW Music. The best thing about teaching music is a student's growth and development. Honestly, there is nothing better than hearing and seeing a student grow as a musician, grow as a person, learn to believe in themselves, and learn to work and accomplish a goal. It's so cool. Secondary to that is, man, when they can play music, it's so fun to have lessons with them, because it's not just, hey, let's talk about nuts and bolts, let's talk about breathing and tonguing. Let's talk about having fun and making music and communicating. Music is really, it's a form of communication. There are three aspects to that. Emotion, narrative, and interpretation. And when you get to those parts with a student, it's about the best thing in the world. And to see their faces light up, and just a kid that walks in and, hey, I play an instrument, I have an instrument, I've been working on it, and a kid that leaves, hey, I'm a musician. It's so cool to see that kid mature into a musician, and it's so rewarding. Why I fell in love with the trombone. Funny story, so when I was given the trombone, and by given I mean that I was not given the choice, the band director in 6th grade when I started said, stick out your arms. I did, and he said, you play trombone? And I said, oh, okay, sure, because I was in 6th grade, and what do you say to an adult? Oh, okay, sure. And I got this thing, and I got home, I put it together, and it was awkward and weird and big, and it sounded like a lawnmower that needed to go to the repair shop. So how did I go from that to where I am now? Crazy journey, but man, the trombone is such, you play the trombone, you join a fraternity for life of trombonists. You will meet people, you will make friendships, you will make bonds instantly for the rest of your life because you play trombone. There's a certain sound, there are certain things that only we can do, there are just trombone things that are so unique to the instrument that you can't help but eventually have it become part of you. You hear the sound in your head, you think about it and you go, oh man, well what I could do that on trombone, especially in jazz. There's so many things you hear and go, well yeah, that's cool, but man, watch what I can do on trombone on that, or how I might approach something. And it's such a unique instrument where everybody else has valves and they have buttons. We have one giant slide, which is unique in its set of opportunities to overcome obstacles, but it's also unique in the things that we can do that no one else can do. So it sets us apart. It makes us completely different, whether we're playing in a jazz band, whether we're playing in the orchestra, whether we're playing in a brass band, salsa band, anything else. It's so powerful, and it's such a voice that's akin to the human voice that it's amazing what you can do with it to connect and speak and communicate with people, and people respond to that. And that's really, really cool. You might think, oh, the trombone, that's not that exciting compared to other instruments. No, man, it's such a cool instrument. I'd like to talk about some of the pitfalls of the state audition music. So I'm going to talk about two different pieces. One, the contest piece, and then I'm also going to talk about work song. So we're actually going to talk about some of the same things, starting with how do we approach the music. So I want to make sure that we have a few things, and these are things you're going to hear from me during lessons. So we need to have a plan of attack. We're going to make sure that we know the notes, we know our rhythms, we know the time, and above all else, we know that we're playing music, and you gotta keep that in mind. Have fun with it and play musically. So how do we do that? Good question. We're gonna start with our tools, and it's important that we have a few tools every time we practice. I have them to my side. One is a tuner, and there are lots of different tuners out there. We're gonna have a metronome, have to have a metronome, and then two others. They're big ones. They don't seem like things you might think of, but big things. One, a pencil. You gotta have a pencil to make notes, and a recording device so that you can assess yourself musically and be able to hear, are the choices that I'm making are the ones I want to make. The other thing is there's a few little trombone isms to this piece. In particular, in measure 22, there's that quintuplet, and there's a B flat in the middle of it. So it goes C, D flat, C, B flat, C, D flat back to the end of it in 23. However, I suggest playing that B flat out in 5th position. Why? Because it keeps you in one line, it keeps you in an easier motion, you don't have to break the partial, all you have to do is tongue it. So I always recommend, I'm a big believer in work smarter, not harder. And if we can find ways to utilize what the trombone offers to make it easier to play musically, then I think we need to take those steps. And that's something that's really important to me for my students to step away with and not just know, hey, there are alternative positions, but that they use them. With work song, especially if you're playing it at a quicker tempo, that B flat, we have F. Well, it makes perfect sense to play that first B flat in 1st position. However, there's another one, and it makes total sense to play it in 5th position, particularly when we play it quicker. This is going to allow you to play music that was written by a trumpet player for a saxophone-led hard bop quintet on the trombone and keep up with the other instruments and not sound clunky. So alternative positions are not really alternative positions, they are positions, and we should think about them as first choice options when they are the best choice. So that's part of what I'm going to talk to you about in lessons, and some of the things that are really important to me is understanding the instrument and making the most out of it so that you have the best opportunity to make the music you want, because after all, above all else, it's about making and playing music.